shit. I leave you with a gap in your brain, just like smack in your veins. Every word like a cap full of crack to your brains. And I'm back with a whole nother sack full of things, ready to put 12 times 10 off in your brain. I'm heartless.
First question up. What made you decide to start making games?
Man, probably like ever since I was young. And I know that's so cliche, but I had very strict parents. I was always grounded, like report cards. I'd get grounded for 9 weeks at a time. And I would do nothing but go in the backyard and just pace around and daydream about games. Probably because of World of Warcraft, because that was the big game that was out in the year, and I was really into it and super addicted, just like everybody was for the first couple of years, especially being that young. But it fueled my inspiration for just game development. Like I said, I just go in my backyard outside and pace around and daydream about games until the moon or the sunset.
So instead of just like like a lot of kids do, dream of just playing video games for a living, you were like, I just want to make games. I want to do something that's really hard instead, right?
No, it's just it goes more into like, I guess, a fascination with very simple numbers. And I don't know why, because like I would go back there and I would think of, I don't know, just cool things that kids would think, like a spell or something, but I would go a little bit further, and for some reason, just like, I don't know, balancing out, I guess, just the actual numbers with health and damage, it just kept my attention. Like I would go on trips and bring calculators and just pretend like there was a boss fight going on and just see what the appropriate damage was for a boss to not, have that happy medium. And that was my fun.
So it's fair to say that you were an RPG guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. That I can give that credit to World of Warcraft for sure.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. See, I was more of a just bang bang, shoot 'em up, Mortal Kombat kind of gamer. So maybe that's why I'm just like, I would just rather play games for a living than do all the fun number stuff behind them.
Yeah, I have no idea what that's about, because that's its own little separate thing. Actually, the very first MMO that I think about it was Ultima Online, because I played on a private server, and that's where it started.
Gotcha.
That was great.
So, how did you learn to code? Where did that come from?
Luckily, my dad was in college around that same time, about 8 or 9 years old, and he was actually like in college at the time, just started out, and I attempted to learn the programming language that and come home, and I'd get interested in it. And I actually made it through the first like chapter or two. It was very basic, but I learned pretty much the foundation for coding. I mean, not to a great extent, but that's the initial. I got super into it, and I mean, it kind of stayed for a little bit, and for a while I really didn't want to do anything for it. I kind of dropped it, but I think it was just that first kind of exposure to it that really kind of set the seed in.
Nice. All right. So what's your favorite game?
Oh man, that is such a hard one. In this case, World of Warcraft, obviously, because not only did I play that game for about 10 years, which I've never done with any other game.
That's longer than most marriages. You know that, right?
I've never thought about it like that, but yeah, that's sadly true. But no, actually, in the game time, you can put in a console command that'll let you know your actual play time, like on the computer, not like the character's been alive, but actually logged in. And me and my friends thought it was cool to go through all of them and just add up all the characters' times and see what it'd go to. And found out that I had a little bit shy over a whole year of gameplay in that game.
Man.
And that's just on the computer, eyes glued to the screen, looking at pixels.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's a long time to dedicate to one thing, for sure.
Oh, I know.
Not just a game, just one thing in general.
Exactly. It makes you think a lot, and it makes me really sad sometimes. But luckily, the career path that I'm working towards is, working with that, and it's not a complete waste of time.
So, what's your guilty pleasure game?
Ooh, let me think. Honestly, probably right now, Heroes of the Storm. And it kind of sucks for me right now because I've noticed this little trend with Blizzard, and I'm getting really wrapped up in all of their games. Like, I noticed the number of games I'm starting to play seems to be more just Blizzard games. But I am definitely trying to move away from that just to, I definitely have Steam. I'll get the occasional, bundle on there, so I'll get some cool games to try out. But if I had a guilty pleasure game, it'd probably be Heroes of the Storm, mainly because for a lot of people, is considered a pretty bad MOBA. But since I'm so familiar with a lot of the characters in there, because they pull them from pretty much every game, it makes it pretty enjoyable, and it takes a lot of other aspects of other games, of other MOBAs, because they're virtually, all similar at, the very core, and puts in kind of my favorite flavor of style, which is Blizzard characters. So,
nice.
Like I said, it gets a lot of hate right now because it did when it first came. Pretty awful, but I did play it recently again with a couple of my buddies, and it's definitely captured attention. And yeah, I'm not proud of it. Anytime I've ever talked about it in public with anybody, be like, "Hey, have you tried out that?" They're just the face that they get, and I'm just like, "Yep, I shouldn't have said that."
Nice. So, have you played any Overwatch then?
Oh yeah, no, Overwatch is definitely a personal favorite. It's a great game. It's a great game. I don't know what else to say about it.
I haven't played it much. I played the beta. I enjoyed it, but I play so many games. It's hard to fit in some of the games that I'm like I would spend a lot of time with.
Exactly.
And I would get really addicted to. So sometimes I just don't get them for that reason. So I mean,
well, that also
crazy.
With Overwatch, that's one of the actually big perks I like about Overwatch is because I'm in the same time crunch. Like, that's why I kind of like Heroes of the Storm is very difficult to play like most days because MOBAs typically can be anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes to just a straight hour for one game. Yeah. Whereas Overwatch, literally most games take about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if it's like really intense. But like it's very fast paced. Like you can crunch out, in a break's worth of time, like multiple games and feel like you got a bunch done.
Yeah, so my addiction right now is, and it probably for over a year it's been this way, going on 2 years, would have to be Rocket League.
Oh man, Rocket League.
I am so addicted to Rocket League, it's not even funny. That's why I haven't played half the games that I've bought, or beat half the games that I've bought. And then my other one that I'm stuck on as well is Unreal. So they have that new, right now it's free to play. It's like in pre-alpha where the developers and the community are working together to build the game. But I had very fond memories of Unreal back in the day. So when I got my gaming PC, that was one of the first things I did was download the pre-alpha, and I've been just playing the heck out of it.
That's interesting. Surprisingly, especially for using Unreal products, I've never played the game, but I just recently tried Rocket League, and it blew my mind. That game is very addicting. Like,
yeah.
Like I can't even explain. Like I didn't think it was gonna be anything like that. And just the first couple matches and just like a quick play game, I was just like, oh man, this is what this game is.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I played it, I picked it up for free on PlayStation Network.
Oh, nice.
And I figured, it's just a free game. Right when it first came out, it was free on PlayStation Network as PlayStation Plus. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. I think I heard somebody in E3 that year kind of talk about it. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. Whatever. It's just a free game. So it was like 11 at night. I decided to play it. Next thing I remember, it's like 4 in the morning. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? And I just literally just binge played it until 4 in the morning. My wife comes in the living room and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Rocket League. She's like, what is that? I'm like, don't worry about it. So I've been kind of addicted to it. ever since then. But so tell us about this game. Tell us about Bedtime Story.
Okay. So the Bedtime Story is based on a young boy who, mom puts him to sleep, everything's normal, has his teddy bear, he's going to sleep. But the boogeyman tries and gets him at night. And in a way to lure him from, his bed, he steals his teddy bear. And that's where everything kind of starts. So you wake up, dizzy, nothing's really kind of making sense at first, and starts off, with chalkboard writing and leads you from there. Open house completely, and pretty much just trying to get your teddy back so you can, get a good night's rest.
Okay. Okay. So what inspired you to make this specific game?
Well, I've always been a personal fan of any indie horror games. I know, especially like kind of, it was a little bit before the Slenderman phase kind of came out and got really popular, but I think it was what was it called? I can't remember the specific name right now, but there's a lot of these specific types of games that are deal with
kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's style, or
in a way, it's like CPC. I don't know. They're pretty much like these aliens, or not really aliens, but unknown kind of monsters, supernatural, whatever, that they keep them, locked up. And each one has a different serial name that has their own backstory, and it's typically pretty creepy. A lot of shows have actually been based off of these, but I got to play some of these pretty much like fan-made game version of these. And given in their state, they're not like the best games ever, especially, but they're really creepy, and they always have these really weird mechanics, like, oh, you have to watch, the weird ghost thing, or if you take your eyes off, it's going to kill you. And I don't know, just each one has their own little niche, and it's all like really interesting to see what the developers do with it. But me and my friends would, try and scour the internet for these little indie games that were just hidden across the internet, and like you'd be surprised, there's some very frightening ones that super simple. When you look at the staircase game, that's a personal classic, and I don't know, it's just something about those of getting that adrenaline, the fear. It's just all fun. I know it's super scary, especially when you're locked in on the computer, but it kind of all started with that, just doing that, and I was like, man, I really want to make an indie horror game, just to have one, to get my take on what I would think I would do with one, since I've played so many.
Okay, that's and I never really. I take that back. I was gonna say I never really liked horror games so much, but there's a caveat to that, because I played the heck out of Resident Evil back in the day. Played the heck out of Resident Evil 2, and I have a fondness for. I don't know if you've seen Until Dawn. That one was a good one, and then also Until Dawn: Rush of Blood is one for the PlayStation VR. That's a heck of a lot of fun. But one of the things that I like about, and I don't know if you've watched, I'm pretty sure you have, the videos I made of your game on YouTube playing it. I'm not very good at it yet, but one of the things that I like about your game is there's no hand holding whatsoever. You pretty much got to figure everything out for yourself, which for some people is frustrating. For other people, it's it's kind of like the old days of gaming where nothing was handed to you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I was definitely targeting more that style, just mainly because with any indie horror game that I've personally played in the past, the replay value is only so good, and especially, I don't know, but just Easter, just keeping that extra eye out. You notice little things, and I've just really built it to be for those hardcore indie horror gamers out there that like to see if they can beat everything there is, because that game might only seem so far, but there's really it goes a lot deeper than it might seem. And I want it to definitely be a challenge for those people to figure it out, because I don't want to just play the whole thing. That's it exactly. But they're going to notice, as they're going through these levels, hey, I need to go back there to see what's beneath this before I move on, to this next level, just because that could be something that's going to lead extra storyline. Like, especially and the next update, there's going to be, alternative endings as far as when you get the teddy bear and the keys that you're going to be looking for. They're all going to kind of tie in together, and that's not going to be obviously evident until you've definitely played it a few times. But especially with some of the reviews I've gotten on Steam from that, and thank you for those people. But one guy left an especially important review about it, saying that definitely not a game, you have to replay it multiple times, but each time you do, you're going to definitely notice some things that you didn't before that's going to lead you to more results and ultimately a very scary experience.
All right, cool. What was that last question I had? So, how are you planning on adding anytime soon VR support for it? Because I think playing this game, I think it would be kind of a neat thing in VR. Now, with you being a child, I guess that would make it a little weird for the height issue. But needless to say, I think it would be pretty neat in VR. Have you given any thoughts about it?
Oh, definitely. No, I completely agree. It's definitely a game that would just thrive in the VR, just niche completely. Yeah, especially with the height. That's actually something I've personally struggled on in the game. I've had to adjust it multiple times. There's multiple days spent on just dealing with height and its issues with the game. So that'll definitely be a challenge when, as far as converting it to VR, because there's definitely going to be some scaling changes in that. But yeah, no, I definitely anticipate porting that over to VR. Right now, I'm hoping to get it either before or after Halloween in that type of season.
Nice.
Once we get a little bit closer, I'll know, because I'm going to try and actually start. I've had started a little bit in development, but not I'm kind of really just testing the waters. But once I get an idea of exactly how much it's going to take to port it over, then that's when I'll really know. Because in most cases, it's not typically hard, because luckily for me, Unreal Engine really does a great as far as support for it. So I don't really, it takes a lot of pressure off of me. But I got to clean up probably some of my own work for it to be able to fit on that.
Cool. Any plans to bring it to other platforms, say PlayStation Network, Xbox, or heck, even mobile?
Yeah, I've actually, the only one that I've considered is the PlayStation Network, just because of their VR launch last October. Really want to hit that market, just as far as an actual console game goes.
And I tell you what, I've picked up games for VR, not only for my Samsung VR, but also for my PlayStation VR, that otherwise I probably would have never picked up as a normal game. So yeah. It does help. It does help for sure. I don't know, and I bring up mobile just because I think you could probably, if you toned it down a little bit, could probably get it into mobile. And with the pricing structure that you have for it, it might be something to kind of float out there. But I don't know how hard it would be coding wise for you to get it on Android or Apple.
And that's actually something I've heavily considered, because as far as getting over to a PlayStation VR, that wouldn't be super hard.
Yeah, the architecture is really similar.
Exactly, yeah, because the hardest part about converting things to VR is really the spacing, and it's just the graphics wise, you have to tone it down a lot. Just polygons, really everything, particle effects, everything has to run at a pretty reasonable amount of space, and especially putting it, in a mobile hands, that's definitely the hardest challenge, because not only VR has to be better at that, but you're kind of double stacking with mobile. So that one, I'm definitely going to try, but can give no guarantees, because mobile is the only one I'm a little shaky on, because I think even if I were to get it to VR, the style, really just the the base, the foundation of what it's built on with Unreal Engine may be too heavy. But I don't know. Phones are getting pretty crazy now. I mean, I've already seen some phones that have 4 gigs of RAM in there, so who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's like my S8 Plus, dude. That the new Snapdragon 835 is a beast.
ooh, yeah, you're telling me that some of these CPUs that they're putting in phones are like, I mean, those were just in computers. Like the same processing power was in computers maybe only 6 years ago. Like,
Yeah, I don't think we've got too long to wait for 6 gigs of RAM in some of the flagship phones, because I know like it's in Korea they have, because I was just reading about this on Android Police, they have a 6 gig version of the S8
wow.
in Korea, so 6 gigs. I think it 128 hard drive. So I don't think it's too long. We gotta wait. I mean, 6.
Oh yeah.
I mean, heck, 4 gigs. I remember my PlayStation 3 only had 512 megabytes of RAM.
I know, right?
You know, and I think these phones have way more than that right now. So
I know, and that's
it's getting crazy on the amount of power that they're packing into them.
yeah, especially, and that's what I mean. You're gonna get to that point where phones, I mean, are gonna be, gonna make not necessarily laptops obsolete, but definitely, take away from the casual user that's not using, to its fullest ability. And I think, maybe that might give VR some leeway to kind of make it more opening, because since people are going to be, I mean, everybody has a phone now, but hopefully that migration will help push people more. But I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, that you have augmented reality and HoloLens and stuff like that that's also trying to make a breach. So there's a lot of future.
Yep, and then you've got like Google working on standalone VR headsets. I don't really know what that looks like yet.
Oh, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, and I know there was a story in Android Central at Mobile World Congress. There was a backstage showing. Now this wasn't to the public. There was a backstage showing, and the writer was there. And Samsung had a standalone headset, and it was really just to demo the power of their Exynos chips. But they had a standalone VR headset that was powered by two of their latest Exynos chips, and they said it was really good. So I don't know if Samsung is working on their own standalone VR headset, which I think would be awesome. But not only them, you've got like I said, Google doing this, and I believe I'm pretty sure Microsoft's probably looking into it as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, and you got the Vive too.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of them.
Yep.
They're all like well-made too.
All right, so let's jump in a little bit. I don't know if you're watching the stream or not, but of course you'd be seeing the delay anyway. Well, let's jump in. So we're gonna get started here, and I'm gonna get some advice from you, non-spoilerly advice.
Gotcha. Let me
So straight from the guy who made it. What's your number one advice that you're willing to give out to somebody that picks up your game for the first time?
Probably.
I know you want to keep all of this under wraps, so.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because I've watched a lot of people play, and it's always different. I've always I just never know what to expect. Everybody does their own little way, and I'm like, oh dang. But probably to really listen, but to just be aware of your surroundings. Like anything like doors opening, that's a clue. Sound especially, because that's what half of the event is built off of. Very important. Just really like any little stuff like that, because even like the messages that appears on the chalkboard in the very beginning, all those definitely have some meaning to it that is going to help you out in some way or another. So really just observant, because you are gonna. There's a bunch of stuff there that'll be surprising for you.
So how many different levels per se are in here?
All in all, there is a total of 4, but most people are only gonna see 3.
Okay, I gotcha. I just found a key. So what do the keys do? They open doors? Because this was a surprise to me when I played this a while back. Because I played. You sent me a pre-alpha copy, and then I got an alpha copy, and then I got a beta copy. And in those, there was no keys. So what's the addition of the keys?
Well, the keys I definitely am meant to implement for a while, but just given with everything else, I'm sure everything else was working properly. But I've kind of experimented and thought it was definitely a good idea, especially because they also serve a deeper meaning that helps you actually reach that 4th level part of it. But solely for the purpose of right now, those keys are just to help you get through some doors that may not be open when you get to it. There's going to be a lot of times where you run into doors, especially if you end up in the 3rd level, because that really opens up pretty much the entire house for you. A lot of those doors will be locked, so having a good supply on those keys will really help you out find, extra batteries, or even lead you to some crazy other objects that might help you out, get away from Boogeyman and eventually find your teddy bear.
So now I always forget this, because I know you can throw this lamp down. Dang it, I need a silver key. What button is that? I always forget. Oh, Jesus Christ. No. Oh. And that was a jump scare. God damn you. See, now you're on here with me. I can actually curse at you in person.
I believe... Ooh. Wow.
No! Oh. I know that wasn't me that blew out that light.
But yeah, that I believe that is the 3rd, number 3 on the keyboard. Put that down, and you have to be. And this is something hopefully I will be able to work on in the future to be able to make it more evident. But it will make an audible sound if you're not within range, because you have to set it down on the ground. So if it's like looking at straight in the air or something, it'll make a good sound for you. So you know that you can't put it there exactly. But definitely useful.
No, I really hate that telephone.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love it. And see, that in itself is just a little Easter egg. And you think it's just out to scare you, but it actually does a little something for you.
Yeah, I know. Every time I hear that, something bad happens.
But I'm really hoping on a mechanic later in an update. I'm still working out some bugs. Essentially, you'll be walking down a hallway, and you'll pretty much walk down the same hallway. It'll kind of put you in this loop that you won't be able to really suspect, and then it'll kind of spit you out into just random part of the house. But it's going to do it in such a way that you're going to be in full control of it all. So you're going to come straight through it.
So what's the different color on the batteries? Or is that something you want to keep secret?
Nah, I think it's pretty obvious for the multi, or at least the yellow and the red, but the yellow one obviously just increases the life on that for you, and pretty good, especially when you're about to run out of battery and just pop it in there. And the red one actually does increase your flashlight range just by a tiny bit, and same thing as the effects of the yellow one. And everything, in here as far as batteries and the speed, all, randomly generated. So definitely not going to be able to go through that at the same time and expect them in the same place.
Yeah, I did notice that the keys were in different places, and I was like, damn you, Brandon. Oh, God. Ah!
Oh, man.
Oh, damn.
Wish I could have heard that. Did something happen?
Oh, man. You're about to see if you're watching the stream.
Woo! Oh.
God damn it.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I thought something just loud happened. I was just watching. What?
That was a good one. I think I peed a little bit on that one. Man.
Man, I didn't mean for my face to get so close to my phone because I was like wondering what you were talking about. I was seeing anything, and then boom, just around the corner.
Oh man, that was a good one. That was a good. I don't think I've ever seen him come around the corner like that before.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same thing. I'm trying to work on his brain a little bit more to make him smarter.
I mean, I can tell because I remember, getting that very first early version. And I can tell it's come a long way, and the graphics have come a long way, and all the additions that you've made to it since then have come a long way. So
yeah, I'm glad someone's witnessed that because doing that in my house alone really pretty lonely.
I remember us talking. Yeah, why don't you share that story? Share that story real quick about when you were first making the game and how you kind of a little bit got scared of your own game.
Oh man,
remember that story you told me?
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah, so one of the first levels I was just making the boogie and trying to fix his brain and everything, and I was actually at the time just paying attention to some lightning because I don't know, just kind of working here and there, gives me something to do. And he was in a state to where he really shouldn't be working. He was in a half-built state, and I didn't expect him to do much. He usually doesn't move, but again, it was half-built. I was just focusing on something else, and usually I have things disabled, but it was just lightning, and I was just staring at it, trying to see what I could do to make it look a little bit more realistic. And I turn around, and he's just right there, not even tagging, he's just staring, just right at me. And it was just the creepiest thing ever, because it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like dead tired, looking at this lightning, all the music's playing, and this is like my 100th time through. And this hasn't happened before. It's not like I've done it 100 times and he's always behind me. No, this was just one time. He happened just to be just waiting behind me. And oh my God, I lost it. Like my mouse flew off, like it flew off the table. My cat just like sprawled and kind of did that cartoon run off of my table too. It was awful. And I was done. Like after that, I didn't even try. I just put my computer down. I was like, yep, that is done.
Yep, I got to take a shit now. Oh man, yeah, I remember when you first told us that story, and that was when we used to work together. And, I remember you used to work on your game a little bit on breaks and on your lunch breaks. So that was the first time I got exposed to it. Was you had actually brought it up and you were working on it on lunch break, and we all got to play it a little bit. So that was when I first got interested in it, and I was like, oh man, I got to get a copy of this for some YouTube. And you were gracious enough to send me that pre-alpha and then the sequential versions that you made. So
with all the support, it's definitely been, like I said, it's a lonely thing, especially going with all those little experiments that my girlfriend definitely gets tired of hearing all my stories.
So on this first game, obviously the game's titled Tag, and obviously I haven't made it past Tag because I don't know any of the titles of the other game. So in Tag, what is the objective in Tag? Is it to avoid the boogeyman until a timer runs out, or to find the keys to get out of the house, or what's the objective?
Yeah, so pretty much, you're kind of right about that as far as like the timer goes, because eventually, yes, you'll get to a point where there's going to be these 3 bells that play. You'll hear
when the bell rings. I've noticed that when the bell rings, it's time to get ready.
Yes, yeah, the boogeyman does go a little bit, not nearly as bad as it used to in previous versions, because it happened 3 times, but it's just to give a little fear, and it does let you know when that timer is about to go, and yeah, it actually opens up the other door to the actual new level for you. And really, that first level is meant to really be collecting batteries and kind of getting you prepared, because that's just the opening, kind of getting used to what the game's going to be like. Because the next 2 levels, again, you're going to have to think about it. You're going to have to take that hint and put it, to use, and don't get tagged. Don't stay out of the way.
Well, apparently, I'm not very good at tag.
And
I'm actually better at freeze tag. Because there's a chance to, if you get caught, there's a chance you can get unfrozen. But what were you gonna say?
I did get there is a few people that were interested in knowing. They were saying that it is very difficult in the first level, and as far as getting up to that second level, and I actually had a Steam curator point that out as well. He left me a very generous review, and really just kind of dissected the entire game. But I did notice that he had trouble with the first game part of that as far as getting through it, and I will let you know that in there, that hint that it says is essentially those lights, very important. Anytime you can, in a visible spot, you want to stay. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the little lamp that you're able to throw down on the ground. For the people that have used that, it does, get rid of the boogeyman for, just a time being.
Yeah, I actually managed to do that this time. I think that was the first time I managed to do it. But I did notice.
Yeah, and it is.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it is hard because by the time you see him, there's not a whole lot of time to really put it down.
No, you usually always hear him before you see him, and then when you hear him, you're like, "Where the f is he?"
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I actually got to use it this time, and then I did notice on when I was just playing that I believe I was in the light of the lamp because I heard him. And I was pretty sure he was there, but it sounded like he disappeared. So I don't know if he got into the light of the lamp and vanished. But I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. He was totally going to get you. And, yep, that little lamp just happened to start blinking on and definitely saved your life.
So there's one thing I want to ask about. And I think this is – I have a GIF of this, and I think it's on my Twitter. I know I've shared it with you before. But there used to be a jump scare. I don't know if it's there anymore. I believe it's that second room on the left. When you would open that door into that hallway, you would kind of go through, and he would spawn there, and he'd be just crawling at you. You remember that jump scare? Is that still in there? Have you placed it somewhere else?
It is. It's definitely does not happen nearly as often. But yes, it happens later after you get to a couple more levels.
Gotcha.
And it's very. It's improvised.
When things are crawling like that, that's just extra creepy. You ought to think about doing one with him on the ceiling. I don't know if you've done that already, but that would probably make me shit myself.
I've definitely looked into it. It's going to be a little adventure, but I'm going to see if I can make it happen because I've thought the exact same thing. I was like, man, that would be creepy, just like from that one movie. What was that movie? The Ring.
Oh God.
But no, yeah, he does definitely come out. He'll actually he'll chase you down like on all fours like that. It's very terrifying.
Yeah, then I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. So, do you plan on making a sequel to this?
Depends.
It depends.
Possibly. I want to see how many people make it through at least to see if they can get to the fourth level because that's really going to reveal a lot and shine a lot of light onto the game. And if people are interested enough to make it that far, then I probably will feel like it's going to be worth the time to make a sequel to it and really show them what the story's all about. But until then, really, it's seeing if anybody's even going to take an interest in trying to master everything about it. Because I've definitely had people like on Steam playing it for multiple hours, but no one yet, has gotten to that point that I'm waiting for. It's definitely achievements related to it. So
this is a game nobody's been able to essentially 100% complete, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
All right. So that's a challenge that you've thrown. You just thrown a gauntlet out, right? You just thrown down the gauntlet for somebody to beat this, and it's probably not going to be me because I haven't made it out of the first damn room yet. But you know what? Let's give it another shot. Let's try it again right now. What were you going to say?
Nah, I'm just gonna wait and see. I don't want to reveal too much. I was thinking about it.
Don't ruin any secrets.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just people are gonna think they beat it, and they have to.
Okay, okay. I I still remember the first time you added like the audio of him saying "Daddy," and I was like, "Oh my God, he talks now." I was not. I was like, "Oh."
I forgot about that.
And then you added him whimpering in there. I was like, "No, this ain't cool." This ain't
Oh
cool
yeah,
at all.
I know. A lot of people don't like that whimper. Gets them scared. I mean, rightfully so. Like, I mean, if I was running away from the business.
True. True that.
But yeah, over these next couple months, I'm definitely gonna be throwing these random updates out there to get it ready. Because right now, just I'm just gonna slowly work on any remaining bugs, any kind of thing I can in there. Definitely better any updates graphics wise, and gonna be looking into VR. But most of those are gonna be releasing closer to September.
Gotcha. Oh, surprised if he was back up there again. What do you know? That's the first time that's happened. That flashlight runs out so fast, man.
I know. Use it wisely. Stay around those lanes. It's more encouragement to stay around them.
Yeah. I just feel like if I stay in one spot, he's gonna get me sooner.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same way. It's definitely suspenseful because, like I said, that's my technique is just to stay around the lamps. But it's like if you stay in one spot, you're just kind of burning time and pop it eventually. And then
God damn it! Oh shit!
Daddy.
That one got me because we were in the middle of a conversation. I didn't expect it.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh my god.
Geez.
I'm glad I wasn't holding a controller, because if I was holding a controller, I would have just. Oh damn it! Now he's winking. God damn it! No. Oh no, that's a woman crying. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Don't cry, woman. Oh yeah, the same thing. You'll definitely deal with that more later. So definitely a lot of open-ended situations we're gonna have.
So based on your advice, it's wise to save the batteries for another level. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh no. Damn it. He was just right there. Stay on, Lamp. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Phone. I don't like the phone, man.
I ran into a lot of bad lamps. Let's stay on. That's probably the worst, actually. Right when you get the lamp and it turns off, then you.
No! I was running for this one. Aw, oh, damn it, flashlight. Fuck you.
Yeah, lots of doors on this one.
Fuck this goddamn bell.
Flashlight.
No.
Yeah, I really hate it when he spawns on that or walks around the corner. Either one. I mean, when he's coming down
another
the
bell?
hallway.
Oh god damn it, no.
Ooh.
I don't like it. What? Shit. Oh, there's another bell.
Yeah, it's gonna get intense.
There's a lamp out there. I know it's teasing me. I don't know what to do. I don't want to move. Because I'm like, the lamp's on out there, so if he walks by, I can at least see his shadow. If it stays on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Here he comes. Oh, that got him. I got your ass, bitch. Oh, God. The fuck? Is that him again? So how do you... Oh, shit. How do you know if the timer's up?
Oh, it'll be very evident.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll know.
Damn it, I don't know what to do. I can't... No, it's used. I can't use it again. Fuck. Oh my god. Damn it. No! I think this is the longest I've made it.
Oh, I make it the second one.
Oh no. Damn it.
It's gonna get pretty rough, so we'll see.
I don't like it. Oh, damn it.
The lamp's staying on for a while.
Fuck. Run! No! Ah, no! I'm slowed down! Ah, keep running! Oh, I heard a lamp! No! Fuck! No, I can't see! God damn it. Okay. Ah. Shit. Oh, damn it. Come on, light. No! Woo! That was scary.
Yeah, you're definitely making it far.
Yeah. By the skin of my teeth. I made it? Holy shit!
There you go. Perfect. Now you're gonna see some.
Musical lights flee from darkness. Oh god.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be wonderful.
Does it say anything else, or is that all it says?
That is it.
Okay. I didn't know if I needed to wait for it to finish saying.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
No more batteries. Dick move. No lamp. No more lamp.
Oh, you know.
Boo.
Help, kid.
Dude, I still can't believe I made it to the second one.
I know. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
Gimme. No! Is that one? Oh, no, you can pick it up, I think. No? Maybe not. Is there a craft button or no?
No.
Okay, maybe this isn't one you can pick up yet. Nothing in there to pick up. Whoa, I heard something like that. I don't like it. What? Yeah, that's. I don't like that music at all, man.
Great song.
Okay. What was that? Oh no. Oh shit. Dude, that is some creepy ass music. Why is it getting louder? No.
That's not good.
No. Oh no! Open the door! Okay. I closed it on accident, I think.
Teddy?
Oh shit, don't you even start saying that shit. This is not cool, man.
I'll see
Cool.
how far you can make it. Oh no.
Ah, he got me.
Ah, dang.
Bastard. He got me.
On the second round. Oh, yep, he was right there.
Man, all right. I'm excited. I feel accomplished now that I made it to the second round.
Hey, that's definitely get a lot more than most people.
So, is there anything that for whoever may watch this either on Twitch or when I post it to YouTube, is there anything that you want potential users to know about the game?
Really to expect a challenge. You know, it's definitely going to be an indie horror game. Is going to challenge you to beat it because it's going to be hard, and to use those lamps wisely.
Yes. Yes.
Use those lamps wisely because they have many, like, for an example, the second game, the one you got trapped in there, definitely that's something that you can't get out of. And the only thing that can save you is that lamp.
Oh, okay. I
So
gotcha.
especially exactly.
Okay. Now I've heard that you may be working on another project as well. Are you ready to talk about that at all?
Not quite yet, just because I don't have much of the details ironed out. I have a rough idea what I'm going for, but once I get at least the demo out, which should be within about maybe a month, I'll know more of what the story on consists. I know it's definitely going to be, hack and slash, 2D styled platformer.
Gotcha.
That's going to be very, very combat intensive for a game. So it's going to feel great. You're going to feel very strong. But I'm going to leave it at that just because I don't have any other, plot line.
Gotcha. Okay. So you mentioned that there was an update that you were about to release soon. Tell us more about what that update entails.
Yeah. So this update will include, Steam cards, and pretty much going to finish up with that. So, right now the only thing it has is Steam achievements, But so you're gonna add in the Steam cards. I'm gonna fix up a few bugs, and I'm going to finally add in and test out some more mechanics towards the ending of the game. Because as you go throughout the game, you're going to be introduced to some scare tactics and some kind of creepy stuff. But as the game progresses, I want it to get more kind of twisty. I want it to mess with your head. I want it to get scary and suspenseful. And I have a few of some great mechanics that I've been working on that's I think going to really mess with some people, especially if they can figure out those first 2 levels. And even then, like even the first couple levels, they're going to get a little too. So, I know it's already, he's going to pop up and stuff, but I'm going to be working on him and his brain and overall just jump scares in a sense of, just going to mess with them a little bit.
All right. Any more updates planned past that?
Yeah, definitely. Gonna pretty much, like I said before, gonna work out just bugs and stuff like that and see if there's anything additional that it needs after I get some more feedback. But other than that, it's just going to be the VR update. I'm preparing for that. Right now, it's really, after, the Steam card update, I'm going to just kind of be working on performance so I can get it prepared to enter that VR state. Because right now, as far as performance goes, it does need some work on there. And I just need to tighten some loose ends, especially on the graphical side for, VR. So really just working up to that after that point. And, yeah, working on the next project.
Sounds awesome. Have you thought about doing any for instance, DLC?
Not yet. Kind of same back to adding in like a sequel. Gonna be kind of after Halloween and see how that fetches. So if people really like it, and I get people that beat it and really want to see some more story to the actual storyline that there is, then we'll go from there. But I'm hoping that some people can even see the ending and see how it wraps up and how it all kind of puts together.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Sounds good, man. Well, I think we'll go ahead and stop it here. It is getting kind of late outside, and I'd rather play this a little bit more in the daylight. But considering that I'm home by myself, my wife is out with her friend watching a movie. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, I am by myself. My dog's here, but my dog would just pee himself and run and hide in the corner. So I don't feel too safe with just the dog. So, well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate all your help and your support from the very beginning.
Yeah, I know, man. No, you deserve it. It's kind of crazy what you've been able to do just yourself.
I'm definitely trying, and like I said, I definitely appreciate you support that. But it's all worth it.
All right, man. Well, you take it easy. Do you have a Twitter handle or anything for the game? Anything like that yet?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you have a Twitter handle or anything like that for the game yet?
I have nothing right now besides... actually, that doesn't exist anymore either because it was my first startup. I don't have anything yet besides the Steam page itself, but closer to when, that season for Halloween gets closer, I'll definitely be reaching out on Twitter more and, actually be doing that. But
cool.
For the time being, just Steam.
All right, cool. And it's just the Bedtime Story in Steam. So make sure anybody that's watching or anybody that watches when I get this posted to YouTube, make sure you go and check it out and pick it up and support somebody that works hard at what he does, because it's just you alone, right? It's just you alone that built this game.
Oh, yep, definitely. Yep.
So I mean, that's a daunting task for just one person. So hopefully you get all the support you deserve. You deserve there.
Definitely appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, we're going to end it there, and thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and you have a good one.
You too.
Got the map, got the clues, not a fucking thing to lose. So I choose to pursue what we wish for. Any chance, circumstance, when I can't rep my band, I'm with you just so maybe we can get mo. So you say you the man, put the people in the stands, understand I can rap this for a pastime. Say a line, not the line, check the sign, I'll be fine, step aside, but be careful cause I get mine.
Some men were cut out for